All right, let's get right into it. Today, we're diving deep into the world of AI coding assistants. And look, these tools aren't just fancy features anymore, are they? They're becoming core teammates, and they are fundamentally changing how we all build software. The real question is, who do you want on your team? Because it is a really crowded field out there. You've got Amazon Q, GitHub Copilot, Cursor, and a whole bunch of others, all promising to make you a faster, better developer. But picking the right one, or maybe the right combination of them, can be a huge challenge, and that's exactly what we're here to clear up today. So here's the plan for this explainer. We're going to start by totally reframing how to even think about these tools. Then we'll meet the top 3 contenders and put them head-to-head in a feature showdown. We'll see them in action, we'll look at how big companies are making their choices, and then finally, we'll piece it all together to build the ultimate AI-powered workflow. Okay, so let's cut right through all the marketing hype. Right now, there's so much confusion about which AI tool does what and which one is the best. Our goal here is to move past all that noise and get to a place of real clarity so you can actually use these assistants effectively, not just, follow the latest trend. And this right here, this is the first major mindset shift you gotta make. You don't need to go searching for a single perfect AI assistant that does everything. No way. The most effective developers are learning that these tools have specializations. The real goal is to assemble a toolkit, an AI dream team, where every member plays a specific and complementary role. Okay, so let's dive in and meet the specialists for our team. We're going to give each of our 3 main contenders a persona, a personality, to really help us understand their unique strengths. First up, we've got Amazon Q Developer. You might remember it as CodeWhisperer. Think of this tool as your dedicated cloud expert. Its entire world revolves around AWS. It knows the AWS SDK inside and out, from Lambda to S3 to IAM. And here's the kicker. It has built-in security scanning that checks for stuff like hard-coded credentials right there in your IDE. That's a huge deal. Next up, GitHub Copilot, the one most of us know. This is your fast typist. It is hands down the best general-purpose assistant out there. It's just blazing fast at churning out boilerplate code, scaffolding REST controllers, you name it. It covers a ton of languages and frameworks, which makes it an incredibly versatile player for all your day-to-day coding tasks. And finally, meet Cursor. You should think of Cursor as your senior reviewer. Now, this isn't just another extension. It's an entire AI native code editor. Its superpower? Deep reasoning. It can actually understand the architecture of your whole repository, which makes it absolutely unparalleled for complex refactoring, modernizing legacy systems, or tackling big system-wide changes. So we've got our team, the cloud expert, the fast typist, and the senior reviewer. Now let's put them side by side. Let's really see how they stack up on the features that matter most when you're in the trenches coding. Okay, now what's really fascinating here is how clearly those specializations just pop right off the screen. First, look at AWS SDK awareness. Amazon Q gets a full 5 stars. The others, they're not even close. This is Q's home turf. Now, shift your eyes down to refactoring large code. Here, Cursor is the undisputed 5-star champ. This is literally what it was built for. Copilot? It holds that strong middle ground, great at things like test generation and general repo understanding, which really cements its role as the go-to all-rounder. And see that one lonely checkmark for security scanning? That belongs only to Amazon Q, and that is a massive differentiator for any team where security is job one. So we can pretty much boil this all down to a simple decision rule. If your world is heavy AWS and compliance is king, Amazon Q is your clear choice. For fast, everyday coding across a bunch of different frameworks, Copilot is your workhorse. And when you're staring down a complex legacy system or a major refactor, that's when you call in Cursor. But here's the pro tip, and this is key. A lot of high-performing teams don't just choose one, they use Copilot and Cursor together. Theory is great and all, but let's actually see these tools work. We're going to hold a little real-world code-off, giving each AI a task that plays directly to its strengths. First up, Copilot. You give it a simple comment, right? Create a REST endpoint. Almost instantly, boom, it generates the full method. It handles the optional for a 404 response, and it even maps the entity to a DTO. This is what Copilot does best. It's not just generating code, it's getting rid of all that tedious, repetitive work, saving you precious minutes every single day. All right, now let's throw a task to Amazon Q. We ask it to upload a file to S3, but with encryption. And this is where it just shines. It doesn't just generate some code, it generates the correct AWS code. It uses the right client, it adds the right encryption headers, and it follows the current best practices. Getting this right on the first try without having to dive into the documentation, that is a massive win for both your speed and your security. And finally, we give Cursor a really high-level architectural prompt. We just ask it to refactor a service to improve its design. And what does it do? Cursor goes to work across the entire code base. It analyzes multiple files. It finds the duplication, it extracts new services and interfaces, and, this is the critical part, it even updates the tests that were broken by all those changes. This just offloads a massive amount of cognitive work from you, the developer, and lets you focus on the what instead of the how. Okay, now let's zoom out. Let's pull back from the individual developer's IDE and look at the bigger picture. How do large organizations and enterprises decide which of these tools they're going to adopt? Well, the decision is about a whole lot more than just the code itself. See, at the enterprise level, CTOs and tech leads are weighing a completely different set of factors. Compliance is huge. They're asking, where is our code going? Do we have IP protection? Security is obviously paramount. Can this tool help us enforce secure coding practices? And of course, it all depends on the tech stack, the maturity of the team, and whether they're building something brand new or trying to maintain a massive legacy monolith. And this all leads to some pretty predictable patterns, right? A heavily regulated fintech company that runs entirely on AWS, they're almost certainly going to choose Amazon Q for its security and compliance chops. A fast-moving SaaS company is probably going to combine Copilot for speed with Cursor for its refactoring power. And a team that's managing a huge, complex monolith will lean heavily on Cursor for its deep reasoning. So, the crucial point here is this. The single biggest mistake an organization can make is buying one tool and trying to force it on every single developer for every single problem. It just doesn't work. These AI assistants are specialists, not universal soldiers. The smart play is to see them as role-based tools. So if we're not using just one tool, what does the best developer workflow actually look like? Let's bring all these ideas together and map out how a really high-performing team can integrate this AI dream team into their daily process. So here it is. This is what the modern workflow looks like. And notice, it starts and ends with human intelligence. Step 1, you, the human architect, design the system. Step 2, you let an AI like Copilot or Amazon Q rapidly implement all the boilerplate. Step 3, you use another AI like Cursor to refactor and improve the structure. And then the final, most important step is human validation, code review, security review, performance testing. The AI is an incredibly powerful assistant, but it is never the final authority. Here's the mental model to take away with you. It's simple. You are the architect. You make the critical design and business logic decisions. Then you delegate tasks to your specialized AI team. GitHub Copilot is your fast typist. Amazon Q is your cloud expert, and Cursor is your senior reviewer who helps you improve the quality of the entire system. And this brings us to a hard but really important truth. These tools do not replace experienced developers. In fact, the more senior you are, the more leverage you get from them, because you know what to ask for. They are force multipliers for good engineering, not replacements for it. They replace the tedious act of typing, not the critical act of thinking. So, as we wrap up, the final question is really for you. Knowing that these tools are here to augment your thinking, not replace it, how are you going to assemble your AI dream team? Are you ready to level up your workflow and let AI handle the typing so you can focus on what truly matters?